And so this is, the magical time where we wrap this up. It's the second time I said that today. I said that earlier in my stream, the magical time.
Well, yeah, but in your stream there was actual magic. There's magic in that
True.
world.
So this is about that time where we're gonna wrap this up here. So
No.
leave us a comment. How long have you been a Naruto fan? That's what we want to know.
Oh
How
yeah.
long have you been watching the series, and how long have you been a fan of the series? Because there's a distinction there for me, especially.
Oh yeah, because not everybody who watches it, or should I say, not everybody who follows it is an actual fan.
So I know you are a recent fan. Now,
Which is just in time too.
yeah, have you watched any of the series prior to that?
No.
No. Now, see, my story is very interesting. Where I used to watch it back in about 8 years ago. Yeah, I used to watch it about 8 years ago, and I was not a fan until 2011. 2011 rolled around where I decided to give it another shot, and because I had prior biases back in 8 years ago, I was like I had a lot of bias watching it, and so I was like, yeah, this is shit. And so I decided in 2011 that I would rewatch it and say, look, I'm going to look at this fresh. I'm not going to have any biases. I'm going to judge entirely for myself. And what really got me like going was that I was like, you know what? I'll watch the first episode, and the soundtrack was like fantastic, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this another shot. And lo and behold, I was a fan. And I'm like, holy fuck, I like this show. I never thought I would say it, but I like this. I like this series.
Despite all its flaws.
Yeah, I had watched up to the Sasuke retrieval arc the first time around, and I was like, yeah, this is bullshit. I only like Kakashi. I only like Kimimaro. I like Shikamaru. That's about it, man. And it's like the rest, the bullshit. And then, I obviously more characters grew on me, like Neji and Orochimaru and Hiruzen and Jiraiya and everybody else. Oh yeah, Jiraiya was somebody I thought was cool too back then too. But yeah, I mean I've been a fan really only since 2011, but I've been a watcher since about 8 years ago.
We got a watcher.
Yeah, I've been somebody who watched the series on Cartoon Network and on demand for about 8 years. So, I mean, in terms of impact, it definitely has some nostalgic value as well as like impact on time. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. If you spend, I mean, there have been other people who, imagine people who've been around since the very
Oh
beginning.
yeah, 15
Oh,
years. That's nuts.
yep. That is nuts.
So yeah, guys.
Literally going through every single up and down that has been the series.
Right.
And Naruto has a lot of those.
It's a fucking roller coaster. Yeah. So tell us how long you've been a fan or watcher and or both. If they don't coincide like mine. And so yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to impact many people in Japan and many people in the West,
Everywhere.
especially.
People are already talking about how, what manga are they going to move on to after this.
Yeah, and yeah, and there's plenty of recommendations obviously out there. Honestly, I think if you want to step up from Naruto, I would recommend Bleach. I know you don't particularly agree with that, but
Well, I mean, I have, like I said, I was going to continue reading it, but then, like I said, I got out of the movie. Like, I believe it was not too long after I watched Bleach and then figured out where I was in the manga into Naruto, and then lost interest in reading the manga. Not because I didn't think it was going to be good, but because it just, for things like that, especially when I had a lot of chapters to catch up on. Like I think it was like over 100 then, and it's still. I mean, it's still over 100 now, but it's even more so now. But the fact that there were so many chapters, it just I had to be in the right mood, and I lost that opportunity because I moved on to something else.
Right.
Which tends to happen a lot.
Now, if you
Like I said, the same thing happened with Hitman Reborn.
True.
I allowed myself to move on to something else too quickly, and now I haven't finished reading that yet.
Yeah, now if you really want to step up, if you have the patience, now go read One Piece. That is most people will agree that is a huge step up from Naruto. But
if you also want another huge step up from Naruto, read Toriko.
Toriko, absolutely. Toriko, I think, is... now, if you haven't read Toriko at all, it starts out kind of okay.
Toriko is less to catch up on.
It's kind of okay in the beginning, but it gets better as it goes on, until it starts becoming like, yes, this is awesome. So Toriko is definitely another recommendation I would have for step up on current stuff. If you don't read Fairy Tail, it's a step down. I'll tell you right now. You don't want to...
Back. Wait, no, I lost you again.
Oh, you lost me?
Yeah, like you started. I remember you were started to talk about. Yeah, you mentioned. I remember I mentioned. Oh well, if you also if you. I also mentioned how if you wanted to step up in terms of manga from Naruto, read Toriko, and you were about to say, and then you were going to start saying something, and then you started going in and out, and then you went completely out.
Okay,
I'll
just tell you what I said because it recorded it. So, I talked about Toriko, how it's definitely a huge step up, and then I briefly said, if you don't watch Fairy Tail, I said it's step down. So. That's where I left off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Naruto. It has a lot of ups and downs. Just like there's a lot of honestly, I think the two main issues that people have with Fairy Tail is one, Urza never loses, and two, the friendship bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's really anybody who complains about the fan service because it's not like it's. I mean, he puts it in there, and it doesn't really affect things too much.
Oh, you have no idea.
Like, I mean, yes, there's going to be people out there who complain about it.
A lot of people, in fact.
Not as many. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because people.
I see it every time. Every chapter there's fan service. Oh my gosh, there's some more fan service.
Yeah, but those are the same people who probably, when they're not talking online, are like friggin' loving it.
Probably.
They love it, but then they complain about it because they want more. Because it's just like anything else. When a story keeps utilizing something you don't like and taking up time doing this. You feel cheated because they feel like, okay, if they would cut out a lot of the fan service, then they could spend more time doing other things to, like, for instance, maybe have also improve upon the story so that way there's less Urza winning and less friendship bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
but it's a step down from Naruto, I would say. A big step down, unfortunately. And, if you don't mind the wait, Hunter x Hunter is a big step up, but you gotta wait.
Well, a lot. Oh yeah, a lot. I haven't read it yet, but I already know it's a lot of waiting because even if I catch up to where they are in the manga now, it's on leave.
Yep.
Hiatus, whatever word you want to use.
It's on hiatus. Hiatus is what we call it.
Hiatus X. That's funny.
Instead of Hunter x Hunter.
Hiatus X hiatus.
I don't take credit for that. That's an old thing that we.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's It's unfortunate.
It's such a good story too. So it's a big step up from Naruto, I would say. And if you're looking for something like the antithesis of Naruto, but is actually a bit of a step down, I would say Akamega Kiru. But that's a monthly, so
Yeah, no, monthlies are kind of,
yeah. Attack on Titan is good, but again, a monthly. So
yeah, the monthly. I mean, the main issue, obviously, with I have with anybody should have with the monthly is the fact that you have to wait that much longer for the next chapter.
mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, me and Strider reread Fairy Tale Zero monthly, and the whatever the gray story line is.
Ice Trail, yeah.
Ice Trail, there you go. And it's interesting stories, but as fans that we're interested in, as because we're also fairy tale fans, sort of. I don't know. I can't 100% say for you, but I don't know if you're a watcher,
I
or in
don't
this case, a reader.
it's hard to say. Like I am a fan of Fairy Tale, but only to a certain point where I'm more of a fan of the old Fairy Tale. I'm a fan of certain things in Fairy Tale at this point. So, that's about it for me.
Yeah. So yeah. So that those kind of things, like, oh, we're interested in them, and that's. But unfortunately, as always, a monthly manga is a monthly manga.
Yep.
You can't do anything about it. Yes, everyone's all hyped up on Attack on Titan these days, but it's a monthly manga.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's surprising that a monthly manga is quickly grew in popularity as much as this has.
Uh huh.
You know, I mean, and it's unfortunate because yes, and feel like it's also the anime is just as popular.
Yep.
But unfortunately, just like anything else, because it's based off a monthly manga, eventually when it catches up to the storyline, it either A will stop altogether, more likely, like in the cases of such animes as Soul Eater, and Full Metal Alchemist, the original, they'll come up with their own segue from that point on
Right.
and conclude the story in their own way, which obviously won't be the same as what the manga is going to do, and at the same time is more likely to disappoint the fans
Mm-hmm.
than the actual ending of the series, or direction of the series, I should say.
Uh-huh.
Like, with at least for the case of Full Metal Alchemist, I know the original series was pretty well liked, despite the fact that it went into different directions than the manga.
Mm-hmm.
However, of course, one of the other, but they still really also like Brotherhood, the actual full story of the manga,
Uh-huh.
which, in my opinion, was much better, mainly because I didn't like that whole BS with the other world, that focused on, science as opposed to alchemy and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And the villain that they had was just, I felt, was stupid.
Yeah.
But but then there's people who they like the original better because it had more use.
Uh-huh. Right. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things out there that are at least around Naruto's level, and plenty that are a step above. So, if you guys are
But then of course, that's also, this, whether or not something is a step above or a step below is up to each individual.
oh yeah, I know. That's
So,
understood though. That's the thing.
mhm.
So I mean, if you're a Naruto only watcher or reader at this point, which I know many people are, and you're looking for a fix somewhere else, I mean, these are kind of the routes you want to go. If you're looking for a similar, like a shonen, similar to it, or you can look for something opposite of Fairy Tail and look for Akamega Kiru, where they kill everybody off.
Well, yeah, it's like I said, it's there's a lot out there that's released weekly and monthly, but you could also, if you're someone like who's only been reading slash watching Naruto and are looking for stuff to get into, in terms of to expand your collection of stuff that you've read and watched, there's more than enough content out there.
Yeah.
Between manga and anime, there's there's hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of animes and mangas out there. So I'm sure there's something out there that you haven't seen or read yet that you might be most likely will be interested in.
Uh-huh.
But like I said, we recommend the ones we've stated as because they're the stuff that we know is still going on and is still worth reading
Right.
or watching.
Yeah. So I mean that's about it, I guess.
Yeah. I think we said we were going to end it. The magical time supposedly came like
Well,
10 minutes ago.
well, wrapping it up, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be it for week 6, guys. As always, leave comments, which you don't yet. But leave comments, subscribe,
Subscribe and join the forum.
join the forum, watch my streams, read our stories, do all the shit that we're telling you to do.
Because we said so.
Because we said so. Because some guy on online television told you to do so. And
hey, that's how a lot of things got started these days.
True.
I mean, look at the ice bucket challenge.
True.
Somebody put that on the internet, and it blew up.
Yeah. So that's it for this week, guys. So this is us signing out.